Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Hasham Ali Khan. So now I am continuing the problems on accounting for price level changes. Current cost accounting CCA method. Till the last video I have completed 4 problems on CCA method. So now I am going to continue in this video the remaining problems from 5th problem onwards. So if you have watched the earlier videos, definitely you got the concept clear regarding the current cost accounting. Again I repeat, there are 2 methods of accounting for price level changes, CPP method and CCA method. CPP method, 25 problems I have solved in the previous videos, and for CCA method 4 problems I have completed. So if you want the complete concept clear, watch the earlier videos, then watch this video. If you join in between, you will not be able to understand properly the concept of accounting for price level changes. So if you have not watched the earlier videos, I suggest you to go to the playlist of my channel, select the subject Advanced Corporate Accounting, select the topic Accounting for Price Level Changes. Watch the earlier videos, first, second, third, then come to this video. Definitely you can be able to get a clear concept of this topic of accounting for price level changes. Now I am starting the next problem, that is problem number 5. So before starting the problem number 5, I expect my viewers to have a printout of the problems which I have given in the link under my description. So take a printout of the problems and keep it ready before start watching this problems video. Now 5th problem. From the data given below, calculate COSA, C-O-S-A. The full form of COSA is cost of sales adjustment. Cost of sales adjustment. See, broadly there are 3 adjustment or 4 adjustment in CCA method. 4 adjustment. The first adjustment, depreciation adjustment. Last 4 problems we have done the problems on depreciation adjustment. Now we are going to do some 4 problems on COSA, cost of sales adjustment. Then we'll do few problems on MWCA, monetary working capital adjustment. Lastly, few adjustment on gearing adjustment. So totally 4 types of adjustment we have in CCA method. So now in this problem we have to find out COSA, cost of sales adjustment. What information is given in the problem? Historical cost is given and index number of goods are given. Opening stock on 1st January 2000, historical cost 40,000, index number of opening stock is 180. And purchases during 2000 are 1,20,000 and 198 is the average index, because these purchases are made throughout the year. That's why average index is given as 128. Now the total available for sale 40,000 plus 120, 1,60,000. From this closing stock as on 31st December 2000, 50,000 closing stock at the end of the year. At that time index number was 220. So after deducting 50,000, 1,10,000 is the cost of sales according to historical method. According to HCA, the cost of sales are 1,10,000. And we have to find out what is the cost of sales adjustment, COSA, right? Now see, some explanation I have given regarding COSA. Under this method, profit is calculated matching revenue with the current replacement cost. First of all, CCA, current cost accounting method, is a method which is applied to restate the financial statements from historical method to price level changes method. The price level changes method will use the index number, right? So in this CCA method, we compare the current revenue with the current cost. Sales are conducted during the year and purchases were made during the year. So normally there are no adjustment regarding purchases and sales because both are conducted during the year. Then adjustment are required only in case of stock, because opening stock was there at the beginning of the year, closing stock was there at the end of the year. So we need the adjustment only for opening and closing stock. And opening and closing stock will be taken while considering cost of sales adjustment. Now, as far as sales and other operating costs, they are considered as current values. Hence, only inventory consumed during the period needs adjustment, which is known as cost of sales adjustment. Inventory means stock. The stock needs adjustment. The opening stock as well as closing stock, that needs adjustment regarding this price level changes. So we are going to make adjustment only in opening stock and closing stock. We are not going to make any adjustment in purchases. Only opening stock and closing stock, and that is called cost of sales adjustment. The following formula can be applied to determine COSA. The cost of sales adjustment, the formula is C minus O minus IA in bracket C divided by IC minus O divided by IO. So what is the meaning of all these symbols? Now I am going to explain you. O stands for the historical cost of opening stock. Actually, O stands for opening stock. Which opening stock? Historical. Historical. So O stands for historical cost of opening stock. C stands for historical cost of closing stock. IA. A stands for average. I stands for index. So IA stands for index number average or average index number. Average index number for the period. IC, index number for the closing stock. Index number for the closing stock. And IO, index number for the opening stock. It's very easy to remember. C stands for closing stock, O stands for opening stock. IA stands for average index, IC stands for closing index, IO stands for opening index. That's it. And everything is given in the problem. C, closing stock 50,000 given in the problem, historical cost. O, 40,000, opening stock 40,000, historical cost. IA, average index given in the problem 198. And IC, closing index 220. IO, opening index 180. Everything is given. Substituting these values in the above formula, we can get the COSA. Now we have all the values. Substitute these values in this formula. Now here, COSA is equal to 50,000 minus 40,000. C minus O. C 50,000, O 40,000, 10,000. Minus 198 is the average index, IA. IA, average index 198. Into C divided by IC. C means closing stock. Closing stock is 50,000. Divided by IC. IC is 220. 50,000 by 220. Minus O divided by IO. O is opening stock, 40,000. IO is index of opening stock, 180. So 40,000 by 180. Now 10,000 minus 50,000 minus 40,000, 10,000. Minus 198. 50,000 by 220, you will get 227.2727. Minus 40,000 by 180, you will get 222.22. Now subtract in this bracket 227 minus 27, 227 minus 2727 minus 222 minus 2222. Subtract, you will get 5.0505. Now multiply 5.0505 into 198. You will get 99.9999. So 10,000 minus 1,000. Actually 999.9999 can be rounded off to 1,000. So 10,000 minus 1,000, 9,000 is the COSA. This is the first problem on COSA, cost of sales adjustment. Remember this formula. COSA is equal to C minus O minus IA, index of average, bracket start, C divided by IC minus O divided by IO. That's it. This is the first problem on COSA we have completed. Now I am coming to the sixth problem. See the sixth one. From the following information, calculate cost of sales adjustment under historical and current cost accounting system. So we have to find out the cost of sales. Cost of sales as per historical and as per CCA. Opening stock of raw material on 1st January 2003, 1,000 tons at the rate of 30 rupees per ton, 30,000. Opening stock. Purchases during the year 2003, nil. No purchases were made during the year. Only opening stock we are having 1,000 tons at 30 rupees each. No purchases. Material consumed during 2003, 800 tons. Actually opening stock we are having 1,000 tons. Out of 1,000 tons, 800 tons were consumed during the year. Price of raw material on 1st January 2003 is 35 per ton. Average price of material during 2003, 40 rupees per ton. And price of raw material on 31st December 2000 is 45 rupees per ton. So here in this problem we are not given any index numbers. Index numbers are not given. Just like the previous problem, we have calculated COSA by using index number, but here the peculiar problem is index numbers are not given. In this case, how to find out cost of sales adjustment? We'll calculate the cost of sales as per HCA and cost of sales as per CCA. Then we compare these two cost of sales as per CCA as per HCA. Now difference. Cost of sales as per CCA minus cost of sales as per HCA, historical cost. We'll get the cost of sales adjustment. Now see here carefully. Material consumed during 2003 is 800 tons given in the problem. During the year, 800 tons material was consumed. No material purchased during the year. Only we have opening stock. There is no purchase of material during the year. Material consumed will be wholly from opening stock at 30 rupees per ton. The whole material consumed during the year will be from the opening stock. That means opening stock we were having 1000 tons. Out of 1000 tons, 800 tons were consumed. And this 800 is coming from the opening stock only. Right? So opening stock, what is the price of the material? 30 rupees. The opening stock 1000 tons is given at the rate of 30 rupees each. So cost of sales as per historical cost accounting is 800 tons into 30 rupees, 24,000. Half of the answer completed. It is asking you to calculate cost of sales as per HCA. We have calculated historical cost accounting. 800 tons were consumed. Each ton cost 30 rupees because it is coming from the opening stock. Over. Now we have to calculate as per CCA. As per current cost accounting method, the material consumed will be charged at the rate of average price during the year 40 rupees. See here. As per the CCA method, current cost accounting method, we charge the material consumed at the average price, not the opening price, not the closing price, because we have to charge at the current cost, current average cost during the year. The average cost during the year is 40 rupees per ton. 40 rupees per ton average cost. Now cost of sales as per CCA, current cost accounting, 800 tons into 40 rupees, 32,000. 32,000 is the cost of sales as per CCA. Now cost of sales as per CCA 32,000, cost of sales as per HCA 24,000. So minus 8,000 rupees is the cost of sales adjustment. So both are COSA only. But here index numbers are given, so we have applied the formula. Here index numbers are not given, so we calculate what is the cost of sales according to CCA and what is the cost of sales according to HCA. So say CCA minus HCA will get COSA. Sixth problem completed. Now see the seventh one. From the following information, calculate the cost of sales adjustment. Again COSA. Opening stock of material on 1st January 2000, 10,000. 1st January 2003 is 10,000. Historical cost, index number 200. Here index number is given, so we have to apply the formula to calculate the COSA. Purchase of material 80,000. Closing stock of material on 31st December 2003, 14,100. And at that time index number was 235. When this purchase was made, price index on 31st December 2003 was 240. So opening index is given 200. Beginning of the year index 200. End of the year index is 240. But average index is not given. So we can find out average index, opening index plus closing index divided by 2. We'll get the average index. You may presume that materials are consumed uniformly throughout the year. Generally a month after the date of individual purchases. Rise in prices is also uniform throughout the year. That's it. So we are required to calculate the COSA. So first of all, average index we calculate. Average index is equal to opening index plus closing index divided by 2. 200 plus 240 divided by 2, 220. Apply the formula COSA. First problem we have applied here. COSA is equal to C minus O minus IA, C divided by IC minus O divided by IO. So C, closing stock. Historical cost of closing stock, 14,100. Historical cost of opening stock, 10,000. So 14,100 minus 10,000, 4,100. IA, average index here we have calculated 220 into C. C, closing stock 14,100 and 235 is the closing index. The closing index is 235. 235 is the index at the time of purchase minus 10,000 divided by 200. 200 is the opening index. 200 is the opening index. Now we calculate 14,100 minus 10,000, 4,100 minus 220. 14,100 divided by 235. 235 index we have to take for the purchase index, because the closing stock is remaining from purchases only. It comes to 60. 10,000 divided by 200, it is 50. So 10. 220 into 10, 2,200. So COSA is 1,900. 1,900 is the cost of sales adjustment. Next, 8th problem. Up to 7 problems. 5th, 6th, 7th. These 3 problems we have done on COSA. Now we are going to do the problem on MWCA, Monetary Working Capital Adjustment. See the 8th problem. Calculate Monetary Working Capital Adjustment MWCA from the following. Opening, closing. Debtors, opening 10,000, closing 14,000. Creditors, opening 8,000, closing 9,200. Index number, opening 200, closing 240. Average index for the year 220. See here. The formula for COSA and MWCA both are same. The only case is, in case of COSA, C stands for closing stock, O stands for opening stock in case of COSA. In case of MWCA, C stands for closing working capital, O stands for opening working capital. That is the only difference. In the earlier problems, we have taken closing stock, opening stock. Here we are taking closing working capital, opening working capital. And working capital, you know, it is the difference between current asset minus current liabilities. Current asset minus current liability is called working capital. So here, current assets are debtors and current liability are creditors. So remember these two. Debtors, current asset, creditor, current liability. So when we deduct debtors minus creditors, we'll get working capital. Debtors minus creditors, you will get working capital. So here monetary working capital adjustment MWCA. MWCA is equal to C minus O minus IA. C by IC, O by IO. Exactly same formula. But here C is equal to closing monetary working capital. Closing monetary working capital, current liability, current asset minus current liability. This is current asset minus current liability. So current assets are debtors, current liability creditors. So closing, you can see the problem. Closing debtors are given 14,000 and closing creditors are 9,200. Closing creditors are 9,200. So 14,000 minus 9,200, 4,800. This is the C. Closing working capital. O stands for opening working capital. Opening debtors minus creditors. So you can see the problem. Opening debtors are 10,000 and opening creditors are 8,000. So 2,000 rupees are the working capital opening. So we got C value 4,800, O value 2,000. Average index is given in the problem 220. Closing index is given 240 or opening index is given 200. Or everything is given. Simply you have to substitute the values in the formula to get MWCA. Monetary working capital requirement. First of all, C minus O. C 4,800 minus 2,000, 2,800. Average index 220. 4,800 divided by 240, 20. 2,000 divided by 200, 10. So totally MWCA is 600. That's it. Exactly same. COSA and MWCA is exactly same. The only difference, instead of stock, we are taking working capital. Working capital means debtors minus creditors, opening, closing. That's it. Now, 9th problem. See the problem number 9. From the following information as per HCA, historical cost accounting method, compute the monetary working capital adjustment under CCA method. So here also we have to calculate MWCA. Particulars: January 1st, 1996, 31st December 1996, opening, closing. Account receivable, account payable. Actually, account receivable means debtors. Accounts payable means creditors. So we are given opening account receivable, opening debtors, closing debtors. Opening debtors 20,000, closing debtors 36,000. Opening creditors 11,000, closing creditors 18,400. Monetary working capital, already it is deducted. Working capital means account receivable minus accounts payable. So 20,000 minus 11,000, 9,000. 36,000 minus 18,400, 17,600 monetary working capital. Price index for material, price index for finished goods. This is the problem here. Price index for material is given and price index for finished goods are given. The price index for material will be used for creditors because material will be purchased from creditors and finished goods will be sold to debtors. The price index for finished goods will be used for debtors. Price index for material will be used for creditors to calculate CCA, right? Now see, the usual formula for MWCA cannot be applied as different indices have been provided. Index numbers are given differently for material purchased and for finished goods. That's why this formula directly we cannot apply for MWCA. Then price index for material is applied for creditors and price index for finished goods will be applied to debtors. Just now I told you. Now average index. First of all, average index is not given. We calculate average index for debtors, average index for creditors. Average का मतलब opening plus closing divided by 2. So average debtors opening index 150, closing index 180 divided by 2, 165. Average index for debtors. Average index for creditors. Creditors will take material. For creditors we take the material. For debtors we take the finished goods index. Right? So material index 200 plus 230 divided by 2, 250. Now monetary working capital at the end. Monetary working capital means debtors minus creditors. Account receivable minus accounts payable. So monetary working capital at the end. Closing 36,000 minus 18,400. 17,600 is the monetary working capital at the end of the year. Similarly, monetary working capital at the beginning of the year. Opening. So 20,000 opening debtors, 11,000 opening creditors. So opening working capital 9,000. So we got opening working capital and closing working capital as per historical terms. So here increase in monetary working capital as per HCA. Historical cost accounting, how much increased? Opening 9,000 and closing 17,600. So increase is 17,600 minus 9,000. 17,600 minus 9,000. 8,600 is the increase in monetary working capital as per HCA, historical cost accounting. Now we'll come to CCA. Monetary working capital at the end of the year as per CCA. As per current cost accounting we are calculating, end of the year. So debtors, the closing debtors are 36,000. To this we multiply the index numbers. So what is the average index for debtors? Average index for debtors is 165 divided by the index number for debtors at the end of the year, 180. So 36,000 into 165 by 180, 33,000. These are the debtors at the end of the year. Then creditors at the end of the year, 18,400 into average. Average index is 250. Average index for creditors is 250 divided by closing index for creditors. Closing index for material purchased, 230. So multiply, you'll get 17,200. So debtors 33,000, creditors 17,200. So monetary working capital, debtors minus creditors, 33,000 minus 17,200. So monetary working capital at the end of the year is 15,800. Similarly, monetary working capital at the beginning of the year, opening. So opening debtors are 20,000 into average index 165. Here 165 debtors divided by opening index. Opening index for finished goods. Opening index for finished goods 150, 22,000. Similarly, creditors. The historical value of creditors opening 11,000 into average index for creditors 250 average divided by opening index for material purchased is 200. So 11,825. So debtors are 22,000, creditors are 11,825. So monetary working capital 22,000 minus 11,825, 10,175. So we got the opening working capital, closing working capital. Opening working capital are 10,175 and closing working capital is 15,800. So increase in monetary working capital as per CCA, 15,800 minus 10,175. 5,625 is the increase in working capital as per CCA. Now, Increase in monetary working capital as per HCA. Here you have calculated. As per HCA, 8,600 is the increase in monetary working capital. And increase in monetary working capital as per CCA, 5,625. Subtract 2,975 is the monetary working capital adjustment, MWCA. That's all. So in this problem, two adjustments I have shown you: COSA, cost of sales adjustment, and monetary working capital adjustment. See, these problems are very, very important from examination point of view. If you are unable to understand in the first attempt, rewind the video, again watch second and third time. If you watch, definitely you can be able to understand the concept of this accounting for price level changes. So if you are satisfied with my lecture, give a like to the video. Share my channel in your group, in your friend circle, so that more students can watch the video and enhance the knowledge. And give the comments on these lectures. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. We'll continue the next problem in the next video.